Hello guys, and welcome to the top 10 worst nerf series of all time. If you don't know who I am, I rank nerf stuff. I have a lot of stuff on my channel, Elite, stuff like that. You can check that out after this video, but today we are looking at the top 10 worst nerf series of all time. I've looked throughout nerf history from 1990 up to 2025. With that, not much else to say, so let's just get straight into it. Starting off at number 10 is Alpha Strike. Actually, this entire list, I'm sorry, but I did all I could. I looked at all the blasters from all the lines. Elite 2.0, I just couldn't put on this list. I did everything. Elite 2.0 at the start, absolutely. It was doo-doo, it was poop, and throughout most of its run, it was pretty bad. But it did have some blasters that just that pulled it out of the top 10. It's not a great line, but I can't say it's the worst. But with that, at number 10, for 2022, the line that came out, Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike is a awful line. Like, let's just show you. It made cheap blasters, but those blasters didn't stay cheap because they came in bundle packs. Multiple blasters in one, so making around like $40, $30 for these blasters sometimes, and it just wasn't worth it. The handles were skeletonized, so they were awful to hold and bad and weren't comfy. Very cheaply made, very cheap plastics, but at least near the end, they did fix it. They did get better handles. They put like covers on them with the older gen blue ones, and there were some hammer action ones that were actually pretty good. So even though this line was bad, it had its issues, it's not the worst line. And that just goes to show you what this list is going to look like, because number 10 is Alpha Strike. This is my opinion. That is true. But honestly, all these lines are pretty bad. But I think Alpha Strike is number 10. Just because they had a few good blasters, honestly. Even though they're not comfy, these blasters were pretty good and pretty decent. Like the 4-shot one, the 6-shot one, the jolts. They just were good, and they had some fun stuff in this line. So number 10. At number 9 for 2021, the series that came out in 2021 is Roblox. Nerf Roblox coming in at number 9. But you may say, well, Nerf Roblox is awesome. I love Nerf Roblox. Let's see what they actually released, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jolts. It's just a jolt, really. One-shot white pistol that does nothing new and just looks weird. The alien blaster broke. The priming bar was really weak, and you could rip it off pretty easily. It had a strife reskin that looks awful in every way. The snake sniper was very cheaply made. So what are we left with? Oh, and the honey blaster. The lever action was really weak and really flimsy and did not feel good. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with a Hamp Blaster. So let's just get rid of that real quick. So that leaves us with a 3-shot Mega Blaster. Oh, but they did that 1,000 times already. So get that out of there. So what's a blaster they actually released that was decent? That would be the Ninja Blaster, the 6-shot pump action Ninja Blaster. Oh, but you can just pick up a better blaster from there. There's better blasters out there, like the Rough Cut. So with that, there's not a single good blaster this line ever made. There's some cool looking ones, but Roblox is just bad. There's nothing actually really good for this series. It's just there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 one-shot blasters. And then the few other ones are just not good as it is. This line is just to make money off of the name of Roblox, and they don't want to try that hard on this. So this line comes in at number 9 because at least there's some cool looking ones, but honestly none of them are really useful. And some of them we thought could be good, like the Honey Blaster and stuff, so we'll at least put it at 9, but it's not a good line. 8. Also 2021 released Nerf Minecraft. Now Nerf Minecraft. Also, these blasters that I'm looking at, not all of them are from the series. There's a few that are missing a couple, but I have done a ranking video on all these if you do want to check that out. I have a playlist of all these on my channel, so you can take a look at that. But number 8 is Nerf Minecraft. Why is Minecraft one lower than Roblox? Because these blasters I think are even worse because they don't really have anything cool or useful. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 jolts. 1, 2, 3. 3 melee weapons that shoot that you can't actually use. And then 2 bows. One is a flywheeler that kind of flopped and didn't really work well with a tiny handle. And one is a single shot with no onboard storage. So what does that leave us with? The 2 crossbows. One, just not even counting. That does not even look like a crossbow. The other one uses the new N series. So, yeah. Also, N series did not make this list just because of the new releases. At least they're trying with N series. It just barely dodged it as well. Same as Nerf Elite 2.0. Just barely dodged this list. So, with that, the only good blasters on this list is the Ender Dragon. That's a 4-shot internal magazine blaster just because it's cool, but it's not useful. And the 6-shot N series Pillager crossbow. That is it. There's some cool looking ones, but honestly, it's just because of the name. They just made this line because of Minecraft. There's nothing really good or useful here. Some of this stuff doesn't even look like Minecraft. The Snow Golem, I don't even know what they did. They even try on that one, really, that jolt. It's just not a good line. There's just nothing really useful here. It's just not good. It's worse than Roblox. At least Roblox tried a bit harder. And that's not saying much because they didn't really try at all. And with that, let's move on to number 7. At number 7, again, 2021 release. 7 of these lines on this list came out in 2020 plus. So 2020 or further. That goes to show you how bad Nerf has gotten because 7 of these lines are from 2020 plus, which is awful. It's just awful. And number 7 is Hyper. Hyper was an attempt at something new, and people were excited for it, and it flopped in just about every single aspect possible. It had 6 blasters released, 3 of them in the first release, and I'm pretty sure Hyper's already gone. It's dead. It is smaller rival balls, but the issue is they're not foam, they were like a rubber. And rubber does not work in blasters because they get bunched up and stuck together. And what did these blasters do? They had no mechanism to make the balls like jostle or anything like that at all. They did not have any hop up at all like Rival, so they hit hard. Yes, they hit hard, but they didn't really go that far. And jamming issues all the way across the board. So the first 3 are on the left side, so let's take a look at that. We have a blaster that holds 100 rounds that is an electric blaster, which is honestly awesome. It's really useful, but the issue is we already have big blasters like that in Rival that hold 100 rounds that do the same thing. So why couldn't that blaster hold more? Like, just why? Why didn't you just put a massive hopper on it? Because that's kind of the point of the line, but no, you didn't do that, so it's just why. It is the best blaster from the line, but it just is electric blaster. It's like the Percy's or stuff like that. It's just 100 rounds. They should have just put a bigger hopper on it. The next one is the Rapid 40 or something. That's the one I have. I own that one. It's just like a big Chronos. I mean, it's the same size of a Chronos. Holds 40 rounds. Jams all the time. Not useful. Next one, Pump Action. I think it's like 75 rounds. Again, why wasn't the hopper bigger? And again, this thing is even worse at jamming. Just even worse at jamming. Like, don't even pick it up. On the next side, the next three, we have one of the best ones from the series, which this one holds like, what was that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. 70 round capacity or something. Also, some of these blasters did not come with all the ammo to fill the blaster, which was honestly awful on their part. This one has a better feeding mechanism, has a big double doors that open up. But yet again, it's pump action, and yet again, it still has the issues of no hop up and jamming issues. Not as much, it's probably the least jamming issues. Some of the least jamming issues, but still jamming issues. Next up is the 20 round, which I don't even know why that one was released, because it's the same as the 40, but worse. It's T-pole, and that thing with jamming issues is probably one of the worst blasters Nerf ever made in existence. It is, the jamming on that is honestly awful. Then below that is the last one that they released, which I think has the least jamming issues, next to the actual electric blaster that doesn't really jam, it just doesn't feed sometimes. It has another big double doors that open up, you dump rounds into it. T-pole. Yeah. It's something new, so that's why it'll come in at number 7. But all these blasters this line was supposed to be like huge capacity, huge usefulness. The highest capacity here is 100, which we got in Rival already. So, first of all, they didn't even do what they were supposed to do. Second of all, the rounds were flawed as it was. It had too many jamming issues. They didn't do anything to try and fix the jamming issues on their second release. It just was a line that had so much hype and hope that it could have been better, that would take out Rival for good. Well, guess what? Rival's pretty much gone, and Hyper did not do it. Hyper's gone. So, Nerf, you're making a lot of bad mistakes. Like, a lot of bad mistakes. That's for sure. Rival's still around, but it's barely hanging on at this point. And why? Because Nerf just doesn't care anymore. So, Hyper comes in at number 7. Number 6, Dungeons and Dragons 2023. The line consists of 3 blasters and 2 melee weapons, and don't get me wrong, the 2 melee weapons are actually pretty dang good and really useful. But the issue with the melee weapons, the axe, the entire handle is plastic, and a lot of the axe itself, I think, is plastic, except the actual axe part, which is not great. And the sword's handle is completely plastic, so you just have to be a little bit more careful, but at least there is a lot of foam on them. Now let's get to the blasters. We have a one-shot jolt. We have a one-shot crossbow blaster that does not feel good in the hand. And then 1 2-shot jolt. Where is the cool evolution of Nerf into Dungeons and Dragons? Because I don't see it. I see 3 blasters that they barely thought on at all. Like that dragon at the bottom, literally they just shoved a round tube as the handle onto it. I do have the blue dragon, which is honestly a pretty fun, good blaster. But also I picked it up on clearance for $5, and I've seen this thing on clearance for $5 for a year. It's just not, it's not good. That's the best blaster. It's still just a 2-shot blaster. It doesn't do anything useful. It looks cool. Some of these blasters look cool, but how do they help? What do they do? We've seen it all before. There's no evolution. These blasters are bad. Yes. Is the 2-shot one kind of fun and good to hold? Yeah. But honestly, it's not useful enough. None of this stuff is useful except the melee weapons. That's pretty much what this line was. They made 2 melee weapons, and they're like, we need blasters too. So let's make these 3. This is the whole line. We haven't seen anything since 2023. This line sucks. It's just a ton of jolts and a bow and a stringer with 2 melee weapons. Melee weapons are good, but that's the only thing good from this line. I'm not letting the melee weapons put this line any higher. 6 for Dungeons and Dragons. Once again, just using the title, using a brand, Dungeons and Dragons, to make a line that is awful. Number 5, the original Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Power 2021. Another 3 blasters. Why is it worse than Dungeons and Dragons? That's because these 2 melee weapons are really useful. Where the blasters that come in Dungeon Power, Dragon Power, or whatever, Dungeons and Dragons, honestly, I don't know why they didn't just put these into Dragon Power. I don't know why they had to make a new line. Probably because Dragon Power did not have the big Dungeons and Dragon brand as the main thing. So that's why they switched to just big Dungeons and Dragons 2 years later after Dragon Power. The blasters consist of a 1-shot, a bow, and a 8-shot rifle. Honestly, they don't look bad. But again, the bow is small, just not very useful. It holds 4 shots. The 1-shot blasters, literally, we've seen it in Dino Squad. It's literally the exact same thing. And then the 8-shot rifle is cool. It is interesting. It's pump action. It's cool. But also, it doesn't really do anything very useful. At least Dungeons and Dragons. Keep up with me. This is confusing. Gave us 2 cool melee weapons. This line didn't really give us anything that anyone really wanted. Just reskins or remakes of a bow that no one likes, of a 1-shot blaster that feels more uncomfy than the Dino Squad one, and a rifle that just doesn't hold a lot of capacity. It's just not a great line. So, number 5. Number 4, 2018 Assemble Gear, Nerf Assemble Gear, or whatever. I don't care. This line is worse. I'm sorry, it is worse plastic, worse everything than Alpha Strike. It's just even worse plastic than Alpha Strike, and that is saying something. Because this line is literally just attachments. All these blasters were made with crappy plastic, and the entire idea of the line was you can take the actual blasters apart and put them together in different stuff, because the blaster itself just was like a tiny thing that had a spring in it that you just primed it, load around, and you could fire it from a button. None of these were really blasters. Like, they worked, but none of them like really worked well, except the one Captain America one that was just a actual blaster for some reason. All these were kind of not very powerful just because they were just built weird. They all are like the exact same thing. These give you a cheap thing extra, like just something really, really cheap and not useful at all. It's just not very good. None of these things were very good. It's just random parts, random plastic, random useless things for little kids, which is fine. But for a Nerf line, it's okay, but I just don't think they did anything cool or actually useful enough. They made a hamp with a rocket. All the rest of the blasters are pretty much a weird jolt hybrid thing. And like to hold in your hand and stuff and build up and make this big, massive, cool blaster. It really wasn't cool. It was just a ton of dumb plastic, and connecting them are cool, but the more things you connect onto it, the harder it is to find the button you need to press to fire each one. And each one only fired 1 dart at a time. So honestly, just really cheap, just useless blasters that I definitely did not want. and I don't think anyone else really wanted it, except little kids, which is fine, but I don't think this was what they should have got. This is just a good idea, just a bad execution with it. So, assemble year, you get number 4. That's for sure. Number 3, sorry, it's really bad, because there's actually no logo for this. Nerf Zombie 2023. This was when Zombie Strike died. We had a lot of hope because we heard about Nerf Zombie coming out literally the next year. What was Nerf Zombie? A worse Zombie Strike in every way. Cheap. Just cheap plastic. No longer molded stuff. It was just printed on crappy decals that all of them were like the same. Blasters weren't even very good. Just very cheap plastic. We had a bat that fired 2 rounds. Honestly, I could snap in half with my hands. We had a rifle that had an 18-round magazine that was bolt action on the side that was just crappy and cheap, and you could feel it. And the only good thing was a hammer action blaster, but the hammer returned. You'd prime it down, and the hammer would return up, which that's not how hammer should work. I mean, it's fine. It was a 6-shot blaster with onboard storage. Sounds cool, and it is. But where's Zombie Strike? What happened? Why is this what they thought would be the new thing? And guess what? Nothing's come since 2023. So this line came out and was dead in the matter of months. No one liked this. Everyone hated it. The one pistol was good-ish, but again, hammer shot, Sweet Revenge, better options. I did entire hammer rankings video on my channel of all the hammer action blasters, and this one is just decent. There's nothing good they made here. They were trying to just make Zombie Strike a cheap line, and everyone hated it, and everyone denied it, and none of these blasters are good. Just none of them are good enough to make up for what they were trying to do. So, Nerf Zombie, you're third. You're third, and you are trash. You are awful. No. Just no. Number 2, 2003, Nerf Atom Blaster. Nerf Atom Blaster consisted of 3 blasters, and 2 of them, probably some of the worst blasters Nerf ever made. Actually, one of these blasters is the worst blaster Nerf ever made, because I did a top 10 worst blasters of all time, and the top one is very high up there. It is a 2-shot sling, like, what is that thing called? Sling blaster thing. You pull it back, you fire it, but the string on it literally goes back just a few, actual inch. You let go, the ball fires out 5 feet. They made this blaster in the 90s with 3 balls. So in 2003, they decided to bring it back with 1 last ball, even though everyone hated it. Fires 5 feet. Then at the very bottom, we had a 6-shot blaster. You load 6 balls into it. It's a hamp blaster, so you pull out, push it forward, fires a ball 10 feet. These are ball blasters. They fire Nerf's original ammo. I think they were trying to revive it, and this was not the way to go. The second blaster is actually a blaster I do want, but in usefulness, it's interesting, but I don't think it does anything crazy. It's just a crank blaster. Holds a 6 rounds in a hopper. In a tube, I guess. And you crank the lever and it fires a ball, I think it's maybe 15 feet. Just nothing very crazy. They tried to bring back their original ammo, and this was what they thought would bring it back. That was just awful idea. One of these blasters is actually interesting. The rest of them were just reskins of worse blasters. And some of them, and the top one, was just a reskin, and they made it worse. It was just I don't know. Second one's cool. Bottom one's a reskin. The top one is a worse version of a previous blaster that was already terrible to begin with. So, in 2003, Atom Blasters is number 2. So what could possibly be worse than this? And I can tell you, it is not N Series, and it is not Elite 2.0. They're not good lines, but they're not the worst. I'm sorry. But number 1 is 1993 Rip Rockets. Yes, we're going almost all the way back to the start. And yeah, does that kind of, doing that, is that kind of bad? Because, Nerf's just starting out. I'm not giving them stuff. I'm not giving them crap because they have done better with this time. The first blaster in 1992, I think it was better than this stuff. The entire line was Hamp blasters that were like fold out, Hamp, cool blasters. Pull and push to fire your darts on a... Just bad. Most of them didn't even have barrels. The top 2 are like terrible things because you pull out the handle that's doesn't have anything to lock into, so the handle just flips around and does all that. And this, you pull out the back tube, you push it forward, and if the handle doesn't mess with your hand or hurt your hand, fire a dart pretty much no distance. At least there was onboard storage. Like, the only decent one was that bottom one in the green right there, the green square. That one is the best one this line had, and what did it do? It is, you load around into it, you pull down the barrel, and the barrel will lock in and make a nice small blaster. So you hit a button on the side, it will flip out the barrel, but then it's still a Hamp, so you have to pull out the priming bar and then push it forward and shoot it. You're pretty much just holding a tube, and you have to pull it out and push it forward to shoot it, and it's going to be inaccurate, and you're not going to hit anything. This Hamp series is just awful. It's just awful. I don't care if it's 1993. Honestly, if it wasn't 1993, it probably would have been 2000, because Nerf would do anything. Hell, 2020, they would probably bring back this line at this point, because they're trying to... They've killed off Zombie Strike. Elite is gone for good. League 2.0 is gone. And Nerf is making a lot of bad decisions. Zombie Strike finally got killed off. What is left? What is honestly left for Nerf? They have Nerf Zombie that they haven't made a blaster for in 2 years. They have Assemble gear that hasn't made a blaster that's just really re-releases on shelves still. Those blasters are dead. The Dungeons and Dragon blasters are dead. Hyper is gone. They have Nerf Minecraft, which they have been pushing, and it's bad. It's the 8th worst line that they ever made. It's just bad. And then they have Roblox. Sorry, I do play this game. I'm just bad at speaking. That hasn't made a blaster in a while, honestly. I think Roblox is also gone. And then they have Alpha Strike that's also dead. Nerf is making a lot of bad decisions and is starting to go down, that's for sure. They have Mega XL, but yet they decided to do nothing with Mega XL, the one thing that they had. They have Nerf Pro that was a big flop and failure. Nerf Pro's not on this list just because their blasters weren't bad. They weren't great. But for Nerf lines, it's definitely not the worst. Honestly, it's probably better than Elite 2.0, and it's definitely better. Nerf Pro is definitely better than N Series, that's for sure. But with that, that's the top 10 worst lines. With that, that's the top 10 worst Nerf series of all time. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any issues, you can leave comments below. I won't fight you. Your opinion is yours. Be my guest. This is just from all my research and all my knowledge of all the rankings I've done. This is why I think is definitely the top 10 worst blasters of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you subscribe. Hope you check out my more rankings videos on my channel. Bye-bye.